It's with great pleasure right now. I'm going to be introducing Jeff Radcliffe. Goodbye, Jim. We'll see you later. Safe journey. Let's see, with UPEDA, they're considered kind of like the public arm of what Operation Action does. They, too, have an incredible footprint across the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. If you don't know UPEDA, please get to know them. Jeff's going to come up and speak about them and some of the incredible things that they do and honor one of their nonprofits with an incredible award. So, Jeff, come on up.
Well, I didn't prepare for all of that, Tawny. Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here and to give out the Upper Peninsula Economic Development Alliance Nonprofit of the Year Award. But to answer the statement that Tawny promised all of you, the UPEDA is, and we've recently updated did a little strategic planning and updated our mission statement. So the UPEDA is a diverse economic development association that drives professional development, increases awareness, advocates, and educates our members and partners through networking and events. Pretty simple. And we hold quarterly educational events around the UP. So today, the purpose of this meeting is primarily to celebrate business in the UP, and that is hugely important. I think many of our communities, we do it locally as well, and it's important. They are what underpins our economy. Without business, we have nothing. So it's very important. But nonprofits are also what makes our communities a better place. Our businesses support them because they are important for providing services and activities, et cetera, in our communities that improve the quality of our lives and make our communities places that are attractive. So every year, as part of this, UPEDA provides an award for a nonprofit. And this year, we have selected the Upper Peninsula Animal Welfare Shelter here in Marquette County. And here to speak on their behalf and to accept the award is Kathy Leone, the board president, and Corey Toseva, the capital campaign manager.
Where do you want us, Ashley? Tell us what to do. You guys want to kind of tilt this way so you don't. All right, do. Nice. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Mahatma Gandhi famously shared this quote: "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated." UPAWS has evolved and grown because the people in our communities care about the way animals are treated. And as volumes of research have shown, people are healthier and happier when animals are a part of their lives. It is the integration of that has expanded the vision and possibilities of what animal shelters can be for the communities they serve. So just a quick show of hands. How many of you have taken home a furry friend from an animal shelter or a rescue facility or even a stray? See, you get it. Yep, you get it. Being recognized as a nonprofit of the year from UPEDA and Operation Action UP after we just completed construction on our new state-of-the-art animal shelter, and we took up residence about a month ago. So this is really just the icing on our cake, and it's quite an honor. Corey Toseva, who joined UPAWS in 2016 as our capital campaign manager, is going to share with you a little bit of our story, which we call our evolution. But on behalf of our dedicated volunteers, our staff, and our board, I'd like to thank you again for honoring UPAWS and for recognizing the economic impact that nonprofits like UPAWS have in our community.
You take it, otherwise I'm going to knock it over. A tie. talk with my hands, and I definitely don't want to knock it over. So they said, we're going to give you a microphone, and we're going to give you an opportunity to talk about the Upper Peninsula Animal Welfare Shelter. And then they said, but you only get 5 minutes. So you guys get my truncated version, but rest assured that for every minute I speak, it will seem like 7 to you. So you're going to be good to go. I have a whole host of pet-related humor. But one of the things we did want to touch about is why nonprofits really are important to our economy. We were very surprised and very humbled to be notified when we were going to receive this award, and we said, we're still just this little shelter in the woods. We're just still this little engine that has been around for 40 years and really just operating as best we could. We're not a large economic driver in Marquette County. We're not a large employer. We're not a large investor like many bankers in the room tonight. So what does it mean to have this nonprofit and this animal shelter, as it were, be honored like this? And really what it comes to is that we're an economic driver because the people of Marquette County, of the Upper Peninsula, and of the United States of America have determined that animals are a priority. They are something they want to invest in. They are something they want to care for. One of the slides coming through here is going to show that there is a very large economic impact, not just on nonprofits. Amy can speak better to the nonprofit impact, but on animal shelters. No other organization really in history has changed as much as an animal shelter, and part of that is because of the relationship that we currently have with animals. It is similar to how we educate our children, different today than we did 40 years ago. How we use our natural resources, different today than we did 40 years ago. How we invest in our community, different today than we did 40 years ago. So we've not really had an easy road, and I think that's part of the reason that some of us have this little bit of a, for lack of a better term, imposter syndrome, where we receive this award for all the great things that we do, because it wasn't so long ago that we really were on the verge of shutting our doors. We had a very tumultuous relationship with our community. On any given day, we were euthanizing 60 to 70% of our animals, and that was as early as 12 years ago. It wasn't until 2006 when we made the change to become a no-kill animal shelter. And the idea of being a no-kill animal shelter really is 2003. So if you think about where we are now, we operated for 30 years in a very similar way that the rest of the Humane Societies of the United States or the ASPCA's operated, which is saying that in order to save a few animals, we have to euthanize a lot. That there is not enough money to go around, and there are not enough homes for homeless animals. So when we made the change in 2006, it really was we can say goodbye to the Marquette County Humane Society, we're going to close our doors, or we're going to ask our community, if we decide to do the work, if we decide to save the animals, will you provide your support? And they did. They provided their support for us so that over the last dozen or so years, we've been able to save over 18,000 animals. We see about 1,500 coming through our doors on an annual basis. We are not funded by the municipalities. We are not funded by taxes. There is no tax burden in order to be able to care for these homeless animals. The idea of a pound as a public health issue is gone. Now, what we are doing is we're saving animals to make them companions for future homes. We consistently have a 98% save rate, which is award-winning across the state of Michigan and in the United States of America. In 2018, we had a 99% save rate. We have aggressively worked with educating people, so it's not just, my husband has put a stop to the number of animals I'm allowed to take in my house. And when we see 1,500 a year, that's definitely too many for even our very dedicated volunteers and staff to care for. We need our community in order to do that. So we educate on responsible pet ownership, on the importance of spaying and neutering your animals to reduce intakes, to reduce homeless animals. We work with the municipalities on different ways to address issues of animal abuse or neglect. We do it because what we do is save animals. That can be as simple as that, but it can be so much more. What we've been able to do over the span of starting our capital campaign is actually invest more into the community. When we say that we have to fundraise without taxes, we have to between our adoptions, our fundraising events, our canisters at the grocery stores and the gas stations on Taco Bell, and everything that we do. When people say you're always fundraising, it's because that's how we have to keep our doors open. So over the span of the last 12 years, being able to do that, we raise about $500,000 a year between adoptions and fundraising to keep our doors open. On top of that, we've been able to raise over $3 million to build this new state-of-the-art facility so that we can be a better neighbor. Of that, we're calling about 820,000 of that came from outside the 906. So when we say it's important that animal care and animal welfare is important to the people of the United States, when we do a good job, people from outside our area want to invest in the work that we can do. So we do save animals, but we want to do so much more. One of the things that we have with our new expanded facility is a community education room. So we are going to be able to develop more programs for the youth in our area, for law enforcement in our area, for people who just want to throw a birthday party for their dog. All of those opportunities are going to give us a chance to create a new generation of animal welfare, to become a stronger friend and neighbor to people in Marquette County, and to be a better investor in our community with things like public safety, animal education, animal body language, the reduction of dog bites, and the creation of a brand new generation of animal advocates. So we're bringing in experts to be able to provide a collaborative approach across the 906. We're going to be bringing up the Michigan Pet Fund Alliance to do some professional development. We're going to be bringing up Michigan Humane's field investigator to educate not just our staff but law enforcement officers on what a body condition score looks like. I've got an English setter, and she's pretty skinny, but she is well fed. So how do we talk to people about that, about whether or not it is abuse or neglect? How do we educate our community? We received a grant from the state of Michigan Department of Agriculture to educate people on what the state law says for pet owners. So what we're very excited to do, and very honored that you believe in us as well, is being able to be something bigger and brighter than we were 40 years ago, like so many other organizations in this room. And we'll be happy to answer questions.
Questions?
Do you have a policy question? All day long, I've been going, I don't know. No. Actually, we were joking that that's a prepared. We are not connected to the Humane Society of the United States. We're not lobbyists. We're actually very, very out of that range. The only thing that we do is there is some legislation going through that allows us to hopefully in the future have a database of people who are prosecuted and found guilty on cases of abuse and neglect. That is about as far as our public policy wants to go. How many animals do we have right now? Well, we're actually having an adoption event today, so I hope it's significantly less. On any given month, we see about 80 animals a month. Now that's any domesticated animal, so it is not just cats and dogs, it's horses. We've been rescuing horses since 2001. It is chickens, rabbits, rats, mice, guinea pigs, hamsters. We took in about 32 boa constrictors in one day, so it's a whole host of animals. For lack of a better term, it's feast or famine, but usually about 80 animals a month.
Where are you in your fundraising now?
So for the fundraising for the building, we've raised over $3 million to build and operate the facility. One of the interesting things that we did want to do is actually we went through the pre-application process for a USDA rural development loan to be able to finance that remaining portion. We knew we didn't want to have to finance a lot. Part of that process is to get bids, to be able to tell them that nobody wants to invest in your project, so at the level that you want. What we were able to do is when we did the 3 bids from local banks, wildly supportive of our mission and what we do. So we actually said thank you very much after the site visit. and the pre-approval for a rural development loan and said, we're going to go the traditional route. We have some amazing investors in our community who want to invest in us.
Are all of the animals,
Hi.
are all of the animals from the
About 90% of the animals we are an open admission shelter. So what that means when I tell people we've got a 98, 99% save rate, if you ever find a shelter that says they have a 100% save rate, more than likely they're limited admission. So they can turn animals away. We never turn an animal away that comes to our door. So about 90% of them are from the Upper Peninsula. When census allows, part of what we've been able to do over the years for the good of the community is do some targeted spay neuters of animals, so we see fewer intakes. So when we have fewer animals that come in, our census is down and we have the ability to save more lives. We will spearhead some transfers, usually from downstate, sometimes from the Midwest, sometimes from the South, where there really is not as many no-kill animal shelters as there are now. I will say the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and the animal shelters up here are thoroughly amazing in their no-kill mission. So that's why we don't often have to transfer amongst them, because nobody has a clock.
What other donations do you accept other than monetary?
Thank you for asking. We accept all sorts of donations. If you talk to many fundraisers, UPAWS will take anything and everything. So we take monetary donations. We have a very active grant program where we do try to seek grants, but we take anything from your old bedding, your old pillows. We have a wish list that includes bleach because, funny enough, we go through a lot of it. Canned pumpkin, animal food, materials, furniture for our new facility, old cages you have. We actually have a pet food bank for people who are going through some difficult times, so we can help them feed their animals. So we have food that if you've lost an animal or your dog just doesn't like the dog food that you tried to buy him, we can take that. We will take basically everything.
How about receipts from Econo?
Econo receipts, absolutely. Those are the ways that a lot of the businesses in our community have been able to support us, really do range, and we're so thankful, from Econo receipts to Beth Milner Jewelry has a pendant sale. You'll see those around here, to the adoption events that we have going on from businesses in the area to really just help us get more animals into homes. We do have some animals who've been with us off and on for a year or two, and they're with us, and we'll take care of them for as long as it takes. Our grand opening is on March 9th, so come on down when we do it.
Thank you.